Hi everyone, Comic Book Reviewer here, this time reviewing on Star Wars Union, issue number 4. Now, as you know, we're on to the fourth and final issue of Star Wars Union that was meant to feature the wedding between Luke Skywalker and Mara Jade in the original timeline. So, let's get on with the story. It starts off with, Wedge, Luke, and Han Solo looking at the whole wedding preparations. We kind of see how they even talk about their times during the whole Rebel Alliance, and even their times like back with the Millennium Falcon and the X-Wing fighters, the time during Hoth and that. And we even see Luke saying, even after I met Mara, I never imagined this, but we are here. Right, and as you point out, it's all your fault. You know what that means. When Moloch kicks me out, you best have a guest room ready. I thought Jedi don't know pain. And of course, like every wedding, everyone's getting ready. There's gonna become some certain kind of annoyances and all that. But we even see how the remnants of the Empire get all their extra backup and even try to show them that they mean business. But we kind of see how, the person who has Mara Jade's wedding is held up by one of the Moff's wife. But we see how even Banner kind of realizes this has gone too far, and even takes out some of the men, and the Moff's wife ends up getting gunned down. And we see how Banner goes with Mara Jade's newfound friend to deliver the wedding dress. And we kind of see how, that even some of the characters are trying to kind of keep the kids under control. We kind of see how Banner is trying to kind of make sure that he doesn't get seen. But, of course, one of the people who were at the whole Red Rancor remembers who he is. And just as, Mara Jade's getting her wedding dress ready, we see how Banner comes clean with Luke and the others, and even points out that, the remnants of the Empire are gonna strike at the wedding. But we even see how to keep the wedding still going. Those who are basically Jedi, and those who are kind of allied with Luke as well as Wedge, have to try and take down the swoops. And of course, they show up with guns and blazing. Luke's Jedi students try to help deal with the situation. We see how Mara Jade gets her wedding dress on, which looks stunning. And right away, we see that all hell is breaking loose, and everyone is holding guns and that, trying to keep everything from falling apart. And we see how one of these they're kind of sneaking in, and just as Luke and Mara Jade pronounce their love for each other, we see how the former Moff says, "Celebrate a travesty to celebrate the destruction of a people and their culture, imperial culture. I cannot allow this abomination to take place." But we see how Luke tries to get him to see reason. And of course, we even see how Luke's other Jedi students use their Jedi skills to help deal with the other swoops. And just then, the bigger, badder guys show up, and just then, turns out they obviously know who one of Luke's friends are, and they say, "You said to God, not you, them." "Booster, we didn't know, Booster. Let's go, guys." And of course, they manage to hold back the sort of extra firepower. Just as, the former Moff tries to kind of detonate the virus that will spread disease and all that, we see how Luke does what he has to do best: show empathy, concern, as well as offering friendship to a guy who obviously is just easily misguided, and even offers him a place with the New Republic, and says, "Oh, it was that simple? Only in hindsight. Or if someone was willing to think." And we do kind of see how Luke has to offer his words of advice, wisdom, and morals, and even offers him a place at the wedding, and even understands that he was just easily misguided. And after sorting everything out at the wedding, it basically still continues. They get the rings ready, and once again, everything goes back according to plan, and Luke and Mara Jade become husband and wife. And we see how at the end of the story, everyone is basically partying, dancing, and so forth, and Luke and Mara Jade finally have their happier ever after. And this is the story. And I think issue 4 is actually pretty relatable, because Luke's journey was from hell and back. He had to gain wisdom as well as empathy, finally seeing things from other people's perspective. And in the end, he got rewarded for his efforts. Something that I think the Disney era of Luke was treated so badly. Well, yeah, the original timeline Luke had to learn things from trial and error, and had to go from hell and back to gain that wisdom. So I think this issue definitely deserves a thumbs up. And the series is definitely enjoyable, and definitely something that I think is worth the read if you're looking for a kind of lovey-dovey, over-the-top wedding storyline. So I think it definitely deserves a thumbs up, and a second one again. An enjoyable series, and something that should have been adapted with the other Dark Horse comics when Disney bought Star Wars. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.